Okay guys, hi, welcome back to my channel. First let me start off by saying thank you for being here. I'm very excited to do my week 3 of How To Tuesdays for acrylic painting. We're going to do a little study on the color wheel, and we're going to do practice some impressionistic painting today. One of my favorites, super fun to do. But before I get started, if you'd like to stay in touch and keep on going with our How To Tuesdays, please hit the subscribe button and the bell and click to make sure that you don't miss anything coming up. Okay, let's get started. What we're going to do is, with Impressionism, you heard me talk before about whenever you work in a color family, you want at least 3 colors, light, medium, and dark. With Impressionism, there's a lot of blending that happens between the paints, so we're going to use a light and a dark that will create the mid-tone, okay? So I'm going to start with a red, and notice it's just quick strokes. Quick strokes. And then I'm going to come in with white, and I'm going to start building up my layers. The mid-tone in between will be, drum roll please, will be pink in between. There's not a lot of necessary cleaning of the brush during this process, because we're going to, now I'm doing like short little kind of quick squatty strokes. You could also do you know, longer, more controlled strokes. I want this project to be about like freedom. Let the freedom reign. I'm going to clean my brush a little bit because I want to get a pure white down at the bottom. But we spend so much time controlling our lives, which is one of the reasons I think that I absolutely love Impressionism, is because we get to not be so controlled. It dictates, this style dictates looseness and freedom. So why not take advantage? It's also very forgiving. And there's something about the way the strokes hit, that it leaves, you don't have to make it this perfect piece in order to get your point across. It can just be suggestive, which I guess is the word I'm looking for. It's a suggestive type of style that really lends itself well to telling a very thorough story with what you're working in your piece. There's absolutely a place and a home for realism. One of my favorites. Growing up, that's all I ever tolerated was realism. I laugh, I say tolerated like I was something. But realism was my favorite. I wouldn't look at anything else that wasn't. And then when I got older, and I'm going to start really quick before I go there. I'm going to start to bring this down so that there's a little, I'm cleaning a little bit in between here because I want my white to be pretty pristine. But overall, when I first started, it's not necessary. So you guys see that, and I think I'm going to grab a little black just to make my dark a tiny bit darker. My dark red. Just a little smidge darker. Oop, I'm going to grab a little bit of that. And that's pretty potent. This black is pretty potent, so we got to be careful. And it gives more of a burgundy effect, but I really want the dark and the light to play off each other. There we go. There we go. I know I'm doing a tester for you guys. I suggest you guys play though and do the same thing so you can get a feel for it before you commit to your piece. But what I was saying was, when my mom and my dad used to take us to the museums all the time growing up, the art museums, I was like, yeah, whatever, you know, abstract, Impressionism. I was hungry for realism. I wanted to see, like, get up as close as I could and see the detail of all the work. And so whenever I did anything, I was always striving for something realistic. And the older I got, and especially after I took my first mixed media class, I don't know if you know this about me, but I was very, very heavily into collage and mixed media for a very long time. And then I took a couple workshops, and didn't want to spend any money on supplies and just use what I had. So all the workshops I signed up for were basically so I could take in my Delusions journal and work inside of that with paints and pencils and markers and everything inside that journal. And I fell in love with that, like being able to have it be portable. And because I'm coming from a mixed media world, I had so much stuff, and I still absolutely love it, but it consumed everything. Every space, any open cupboard that I had some form of mixed media, and the canvas, it just was a lot. So and because I fell in love with the journal and working out of the journal and having minimal supplies and being able to take it anywhere, it was really nice. Like I could sit on the couch and do something and watch TV and enjoy my time with my husband and whatever and just relax, as opposed to having to go to my space, pull out all my stuff, you know, make a huge mess, which I'm all for, by the way. When I teach a class, if it's a mixed media class, I'm throwing stuff on the floor and I'm telling everybody else to do the same thing. If it's trash, chuck it. We don't need, we'll take care of it later. Like I'm all about the freedom of mixed media, and I've been itching to do it again. I will tell you that, but, and I will. Don't be surprised if you see a How To Tuesday mixed media piece popping up. So yeah, but once I took that first mixed media class, and I was probably, I want to say maybe early 30s, I was hooked, line and sinker, totally, completely hooked, and fell in love with it. And then from there, I still totally appreciate realism, but I'm also just as much in love with abstract and collage work and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so here's my light to my dark. You saw it. It's just, you could do the, I need a little bit more paint. You could do longer, more planned, controlled strokes, or you could do what I was doing, which was that. There's the two differences right there. Now I'm going to use blue and yellow, and the third color is going to mix in the middle. It's not going to be really a middle like this was, what was going to be light to be dark. It's going to be kind of a overall. So you should be able to see all three colors. Let's do this a little more controlled. I'll be a little more controlled with this one. Oh, I forgot to mention, when you're working with Impressionism, I find that it's best to use a flat brush. Different sizes. I have a few different sizes here to work it with. I find it's easier than a round brush. It just lays a better stroke, I think. I believe. If you have a round brush, try to make sure that it's a flat round brush, if that makes any sense. Okay, so now I'm going to come in. I'm not going to clean. I'm going to come in with my blue. And then I'm going to come back in with my yellow, because that blue is really intense right now. And I'm going to clean my brush. But I have three colors now. I have blue, yellow, and green. Come back in. Still all about the layers though, huh? Now this is the basic. I would at this point, if because the yellow is really bright, I'm going to pick up some yellow and add some white to it, because I want to push down that. There we go. I don't want it to be so primary color. I'm not a huge fan of just the primary color together. I like to have a little variety. Doesn't mean you can't be. Okay. Now that would be a perfect suggestion for a tree. Let's put a little bit more white so it's a little brighter or lighter. It's also really kind of cool because this builds texture too. It builds the texture. If you want, if you have thick coats, you could build like the bumpy texture on your canvas. This I'm working on. I told you last week that I would work on my watercolor paper this time around. Just check it out, and so far I like it. It's working pretty good. This is the Artistico 100% cotton hot press for Fabriano. Let me see, can you see it? Yeah. And then I just laid down a coat of gesso on it to give it a little texture and tooth to it. so that also that the paint wouldn't just soak right into the watercolor paper. And there you go. So there you go. That's a little sampling of Impressionism. And now what we're going to do today, first of all, we're going to talk a little bit about the color wheel because it's very important. And then this is today's project. I'm obsessed with bees. I love bees. And so I think bees are important in our world. And we're going to make a bee. And I will conclude a bunch of different images of these bees, this style. I found them on Pinterest. The artist's name is Andrea Lavery, I'm not sure. I think her work is gorgeous, and I have painted a version of this bee before and I absolutely loved it and I had the best time, so I thought it would be fun to share with you guys again, or not again, but to share with you guys because it's really cool. The reason I wanted to talk about the color wheel is because these colors are complementary. And if you don't know what complementary means, it's the opposite of the color wheel. The colors are opposite of the color wheel. Work really well off each other. So if you are not someone who's really comfortable with color, I would suggest getting a basic color wheel and, getting a basic color wheel. I'm going to zoom out a little. And learning the opposites, because the opposites will always work well together. Always. Always, always. And I thought this was kind of cool. Just a quick, easy explanation. There's primary, secondary, and tertiary. Okay? Primary, this color right here, it says hue pure color. This wheel right here, this ring. And then this one is tint, hue plus white, right here. This is tone, hue plus gray. And then this is shade, hue plus black down here. And those are the 4 different colors if you use white, gray, or black added to your pure color. Now this is red, and I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but this is like red, and this would be red orange. This is yellow orange. I'm sorry, this is orange, yellow, orange, and yellow. So you could make from between red and yellow, you get 1, 2, 3 colors. You get a red orange, orange, and a yellow orange and yellow. Green, this is the pure green, the primary color. Between these two, if you mix this one and this one, you get this color. And between this is the blue color, this is the primary blue. If you mix this color and this color, you get this color. So if you're not familiar with the color wheel, I suggest doing some, and I might do that too. I might do a little study on the How To Tuesday on the color wheel because it's actually really fascinating. It's very cool, and sometimes, you know, being that I've been an artist pretty much my whole life, I'm pretty familiar with what colors work well and how they react off each other. But you forget sometimes. You forget what's going to work, and then you go, oh, that was a bad idea when you're working on something. I just did a little quick play not that long ago. I made her. I thought she was kind of fun, but there's all kinds of non-traditional colors in here, and they work really well with each other. These colors, you see a lot of turquoise and green, but look, right across from it, right across from this lime green is this purple, and that's in there, that violety purple. And the turquoise and the pinks, turquoise and pinks, they work off of each other. So it's fun to do. It's fun to not work with traditional colors, at least for me. I really, really enjoy it, and it also aids itself to the loosening up and having fun. Now this matter of loosening up and having fun is the strokes. The strokes is what for me is going to give us freedom. We have, like I said, these are the primaries. Red and green work really well off of each other, as does yellow because it's close to the green family. And then black, of course, kind of works with everything because it's such a powerful color. And then there's little pops of like a periwinkle blue in here around it. I'm probably going to use turquoise blue because I can't help myself because I'm obsessed with turquoise. Turquoise and chartreuse are my favorite colors, so just in case you were wondering. So, but the freedom of this piece are in the strokes, okay? I'm very excited about this. I cannot wait to get started. I'm gonna, after instruction, I'm just gonna go ahead and start painting. First, I'm gonna sketch out my little, just suggestive stuff, not a ton of detail. Do not put a ton of detail into it. Just suggest, draw, sketch the body and the wings and a little bit of suggestion for where the flowers are. And then go in with paint because the details will get lost immediately once you start painting. And we're working free. Remember, we're gonna try to work loose and free today. Super important, and it's really a valuable skill for future the future painters in you. And even in like when it comes to colored pencil, to work and play with color, and oil pastels, same idea. Chalk pastels, same idea. You can work freely and still get your point across. This isn't perfectly refined and, you know, technically sound, but it is. You get the exact impression that the artist was trying to make, but it's done loosely. Okay? So again, like I said in the past, you learn the basics, you learn the base skills, and you can take them anywhere. All right, you guys? So I'm going to get started. I'm going to fast forward. If there's something as I'm working that comes across, oh, I need to tell them this, you'll be the first to know. Okay?
I met him on a sunny day in late July, and everything turned upside down. I almost lost track of time as weeks went by. I couldn't get him off my mind. I told him I want that great love, like standing in the middle of a bonfire. You don't know how you got there, but you hold tight, knowing that you can't get burned. Just tell me how we lost track of everything but each other. I honestly don't know. And tell me how we messed up, drifting away from each other. Didn't wanna let you go. Cause we wanted different things, and I have to deal with it, but it's not easy. So tell me how to let go, cause you really seem to know how to carry on your own. Ever since I got a good look in his eyes, I just knew that he was special. He said he wanted to take it slow, but I couldn't help that I wanted to take it to the next level. Cause I wanted that great love, like standing in the middle of a bonfire. You don't know how you got there, but you hold tight, knowing that you can't get burned. Just tell me how we